at Thar's Garage. In this video, I'll be unboxing the Yokomo Rookie Speed 2.0. So let's get started. So my local track runs on-road once a month, and I wanted to run in the US GT class, but I didn't want to spend a lot of money on a kit. So most guys that are running that class are running the X-Ray X4 or Mugens and things like that, and they're anywhere from $600 to $900. So this kit was roughly 200 bucks, just sealed in one spot. Not much information on the box itself, just some images. So let's go ahead and open it up. Not a very big box. We have the manual. Looks like we have a sticker sheet and maybe some option parts that are available for the car. So that's nice to see. Set these aside for now. Let's take a look and see what's in the box. So we have, looks like 450 shock fluid, some black grease. We have some tools and some double-sided tape. Looks like we have bag 9, which are the control arms. They're different front and rear. Looks like everything's in one big bag. We'll open that up in a sec. And we'll set this box aside. So the cool thing to note is that the chassis is a plastic composite. It is a little flexible. Torsional rigidity isn't that bad. Hopefully with the top deck on, it'll be pretty stiff. But this is one spot where they cheaped out to make the kit as inexpensive as it is. Usually the chassis is made out of aluminum or carbon fiber to make it a high-end kit. So let's go ahead and open up this bag and see how everything is packaged. So I've built another Yokomo kit before, and all the screws were in a screw bag, but it's nice to see that everything is individually packaged. So we've got bag 1, looks like one of the suspension mounts and posts for the steering bell cranks. There's bag 2, we've got our diff holders or uprights. Bag 3, we've got our differentials, and looks like we've got metal shielded bearings that are in there as well. Looks like all the bearings are going to be in each different bag, not in its own bag of bearings, so just take note of that. The diffs are sealed. I took a look on the manual online, and it says to put black grease in the diffs, but I'm going to use some diff fluid. That way I can tune it. Bag 4 looks like we've got our center pulley, spur gear, our belts, bag 5 looks like the steering servo mount, servo horn, and maybe some part of the bell crank assemblies. Bag 6 looks like part of the upper deck and maybe some belt tensioner. Bag 7 looks like our shock towers and some of the turnbuckles. Got 4 turnbuckles in here, so probably our camber links. Bag 8 looks like our hubs, C-hubs, rear hubs, maybe steering some part of the steering components for the hubs, as long as our axles and more bearings are in here. Bag 9, there are 2 bag 9s. One was packaged, it looks like hinge pins, suspension mounts, and then the other bag 9 that was outside of the bag was the control arms themselves. Bag 10 looks like the shocks. This is another portion of the kit where they cheaped out to make it affordable. They're using plastic bodied shocks instead of aluminum shocks. So that's another place that they saved some money. So we'll see how these perform and see if we need to upgrade those later on. Bag 11 looks like the front bumper and some body mounts. Bag 12 looks like the battery mount system. Looks like we can run a shorty pack or a normal stick pack. I haven't decided what I'm going to run yet, but I'm kind of leaning towards a shorty pack because I have a bunch of those. And then lastly, bag 13 looks like the pinion, wheel hexes, and wheel nuts. So, all right, so that's all the bags. Let's take a quick look at the manual. Manual isn't the best. X-Ray probably still has the best manuals out there, but this is printed on plain paper, black and white. Looks like we're going to go ahead and start with the main chassis assembly. We're going to put our bulkheads front and rear on, then build our gear diff assembly. And like I said, it tells us to use grease, but I'm probably going to use the thickest diff fluid that I have in the front and maybe 3,000 or 5,000 fluid in the rear. Then we're going to do the drive pulley assembly and install the diffs front and rear. Then we're going to create our steering bell crank assembly, install our servo. Then we'll do the upper deck installation. Then shock tower installation with the camber links, front and rear. Then we have in step 10, the hub carrier assemblies. Looks like they're going to do front and rear. Then we'll install those hubs onto the suspension arms, and then install the suspension arms onto the chassis. We'll build the shocks. Looks like they want 450 fluid. They're bladder shocks. Install the shocks, the bumper insulation, body mounts, and then the battery tray. And lastly, we'll install our electronics and wheels. And it looks like they have a chart for the pinion gear and the gear ratio. So it looks like it has an 86 tooth spur. The drive pulley is 20 teeth, and the diff pulley is 40 teeth. That gives us a reduction ratio of 2. So we can use this information here to calculate our gear ratio to see whether or not if we're running as close to what others are running on the track. But looks like it's a 5.73 gear ratio with the included spur gear and pinion. Looks like we have exploded view in the back. It's nice to see that the exploded view has all the part numbers, so if you break something you can reference this real quick and get the parts that you need. And it's in Japanese. Let's take a look at what's in this bag. It looks like it was a sticker sheet and maybe some option parts. I think there's a free coupon to go to Tsukuba RC Arena in Japan, which I will probably never go to. But it has a pamphlet on the new Rookie Drift 2.0. So that's what else was included. And I guess, so sticker sheet. I don't understand any of this Japanese. Support package. There was a turnbuckle wrench. This is nicely machined aluminum. It's nice to have. And there's more information about their drift cars. Looks like the Super Drift and the Super Drift option parts, the Master Drift option parts, and the Rookie Drift with the Rookie Drift option parts. Unfortunately, it doesn't give us an option parts list for the Rookie Speed. I would have liked to see that, because I'd be interested in upgrading my shocks for sure. So that's it for the unboxing. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe if you did. Let me know down in the comments if you have experience with this kit. It'd be great if you could post some comments, so it'll help out the community. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next one.